How can I assist you today? Are you looking to buy, sell, or maybe get info on a specific property?
Yeah, Sophie, actually, I was looking to buy property. Could you help me with that? I want to see what you have available.
Of course, Felipe. I'd love to help you find the perfect property. Could you tell me a bit more about what you're looking for?
Yeah, I was thinking about an apartment in Tribeca that has 3 rooms.
Got
Do
it.
you have something like that or not?
Felipe, I found an apartment in Tribeca with 3 rooms. It's priced at $3 million, has 1 bathroom, and includes amenities like a gym and a pool. The total area is 80 square meters, and it was built in 2022. Does this sound good to you?
Yeah, it actually sounds pretty good, so thank you for that.
Sending the property details to Felipe via WhatsApp. I've sent you all the details via WhatsApp, Felipe. Feel free to review them and message me anytime if you have questions or want to schedule a visit. Have a great day.
Alright, thank you, bye. After watching this video, you will learn how to create an AI voice agent for a real estate company. In this case, in specific, the agent will be capable of looking for a property depending on the requirements that the user say during the call, and then it will gather all the information of the property from the database and will send all that information through WhatsApp to the user. In the other side, the agent also will be capable of listing properties in the database. And after doing that, sending a WhatsApp message informing to the user that a human agent will be in touch with him soon to continue with the process. Without extending myself too much, I'll leave you with a demo so you can see how the agent works and how it performs.
Hi, I'm Sophie from PrimeNest Realty. It's great to connect with you. What's your name?
Hey Sophie, how are you doing? My name is Felipe.
Hi, Felipe. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? How can I assist you today? Are you looking to buy, sell, or maybe get info on a specific property?
Yeah, Sophie, actually, I was looking to buy property. Could you help me with that? I want to see what you have available.
Of course, Felipe. I'd love to help you find the perfect property. Could you tell me a bit more about what you're looking for? For example, the area, if you prefer a house or an apartment, your budget, or any specific features you'd like.
Yeah, I was thinking about an apartment in Tribeca that has 3 rooms.
Got
Do you
it.
have something like that or not?
Got it, Felipe. An apartment in Tribeca with 3 rooms. Anything else important for you, like a budget or specific features like a garage or a pool? Or should I search with just these details?
No, nothing else. So just search with those details.
Searching for apartments in Tribeca with 3 rooms for Felipe. Felipe, I found an apartment in Tribeca with 3 rooms. It's priced at $3 million, has 1 bathroom, and includes amenities like a gym and a pool. The total area is 80 square meters, and it was built in 2022. Does this sound good to you?
Yeah, it actually sounds pretty good, so thank you for that. Look, now I must leave, so please send me all the details through message, please.
Sending the property details to Felipe via WhatsApp. I've sent you all the details via WhatsApp, Felipe. Feel free to review them and message me anytime if you have questions or want to schedule a visit. Have a great day.
Alright, thank you, bye.
You're welcome, Felipe. Have a great day and feel free to reach out anytime. Bye.
So now if I go to my WhatsApp, I can see that the agent sent all the features of the property so I can read them calmly. Now, after watching the demo with the agent, I'll deep down with the configuration of the agent. Don't worry if I go too fast, because down here in the description I'll be leaving a link with the resources of the video in which you will be able to find prompts, the prompt tree, functions, JSON, and some notes that we will see from N8N. So don't worry about that, you'll have everything down here in the description. In first place, I like to configure the agent in the following manner. First, I give him the role, then tasks, response style, service hours, in this case, a bit of the conversational flow, then the available services. We list all the services available and non-available, and then we give him specific instructions. And after that, in the last part, we got notes. So if you go back to the role, here in role, I tell the agent how is it called, the experience it has, and the work it will do inside here. Then I move on to the task, and I simply tell the agent that it has to identify the client's need, search for properties, capture the client's basic information, and record all the interaction. Then I give the response style. in which in here I give the agent something pretty general that you will be able to find in most agents. That, for example, we tell him that needs to use a warm, relaxed, yet professional tone. Then it must adapt to the vocabulary of the users. So what I mean with this is that the agent shouldn't use too technical expressions. Then it has to validate the client's concerns with phrases, provide detailed but accessible explanations, and some more configurations that you'll find in the resources I'll be leaving you. Then I give the agent the service hours from when to when the business is open, and I give a short summary from the conversational flow it must follow. After that, I give the agent the services, and a very important thing is that I give him also the services that are non-available, so we can know the difference in between what the company offers and what not. Finally, I give the agent specific instructions and then notes. In the instructions, I tell the agent how it must pronunciate certain words, like for example numbers or special character. Also here I prompt the agent to manage certain scenarios, so there's no problem. And finally, on the notes part, I give the agent error handling and certain things that will help a lot in order to respond correctly. Like here, I tell the agent that when responding, use a maximum of 300 characters. Now going with the prompt tree, we got the following. First, we got the first note, that is the intro, in which we tell the agent the next things. In the notes into the prompt tree, I like to tell the agent three things. First, the role, then the tasks, and notes and specifications. In which obviously in the role, I tell the agent how is it called, then the task that it will be doing, and then we jump to the tasks, in which we tell the agent step by step the actions it must do. First, we got a grid, and then asking the user, how can I assist you today? And in the final step, we have a transition. That the transition will be conditional. This means that depending on the needs of the user, the agent will jump right to one of three nodes. The agent will go to this node, to the node of buy, when the user wants to look for a property or is looking to buy. The only difference this node has to this other node, the specific property node, is that in this case, the user is looking for one property. So the user may have the ID of the property or directly knows every characteristic or feature of the property that it is looking. So in that case, it will follow this path. And then we have the sell node, in which the agent will go to this path when the user wants to list a property with the company. In here, in the final step, I'm specifying the condition to go to each node. Again, don't worry if I go too fast, because I'll be leaving all the prompts down here in the description so you can copy and paste and try this agent with the configuration I leave. Finally, in the notes and specifications, we tell the agent to speak fluently and naturally, and more. As you've seen in the call, the agent followed this path with me, which means I was interested in looking for a property. So in this note, we tell the agent its role, which is assist a client that wants to buy or is interested in looking for a property. And then we jump right to the task, which is the step-by-step. The first step of this node is to start the conversation by asking for the search criteria. So what we're doing here is asking the user what features the property that he's looking for needs to have. Then we confirm the criteria to make sure that the agent gathered the right information, and then we execute the function property or the tool property in order to look for the information in the database and see if there is a property available that matches the features the user said. We also give context to the agent so it knows how to do this step in a better way. And then after gathering the information from the database and telling the user, we send a message through WhatsApp, calling the tool by message or function by message. The idea of this automation is that the user has every feature that the property that he was looking for has. And finally, we go to the final step in which we close the conversation. In here, the agent will ask the user if he has any question left, and if he doesn't, it will say goodbye and then call the function end call to end exactly the call. But if the user has questions, the AI will solve all the questions, so there's no doubt about the service. And then when the user has no more questions, it will say goodbye and call the end call function. And then we have the specification and notes, in which we are telling the agent a bit more of the context of the conversation and what it must do in certain cases. Now moving on with the tools that this node has, we got three. We got the end call function, then the property function, and then finally we got the function of by message, in which we will be informing the user all the features that the property we found has. Again, I will be leaving all the information of the JSON and the functions down here in the description, so you just can copy and paste. But if you want to go a bit deeper in the function, in the JSON specifically, we have this. We don't have a required item because what we are asking to the user are certain features, and the user may not know what features he wants. Maybe he wants a property in certain neighborhood, or maybe he wants certain amount of rooms, but maybe other user may want certain amenities in the property. So that's why we are leaving required as empty, because it depends on what the user tells to the agent. But here we have the next dynamic variables. First we got bedrooms, then amenities, square meters of the property, location, ID, type, and bathrooms. Then moving on the by message tool, we have the next JSON, which is very simple. In here, we got a required list of items we need, because first we got the client name. We must have this variable in order to send the message, and then we need the variable mensaje, which means message. First, obviously, in the dynamic variable of client name, we got the full name of the client, and then in mensaje, which means message, we have a string, and we tell the agent to build the message that we will be sending to the user through WhatsApp. Hi John, here's a property that might interest you. Apartment in Tribeca, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 80 square meters with a pool and garage. Price 2.5 million. And then we say to the agent that tells the user that an agent will contact you shortly to answer any questions. Then moving on to the specific property node, we have the exact same functions, because this node tries to accomplish the same thing as the by node, but the only difference is that the conversational flow changes a bit. That's what we are changing in this node. So I won't go deep in this node. I'll be leaving it in the description so you can watch and see everything you need. So we will jump to the last node, which is sell node. We declare the role of the agent, and then we have a step-by-step. Here we tell the agent to start the conversation by asking for basic property details. Then we tell the agent to confirm the property details, and then capture the full name before calling the tool sell message, which this tool will be for sending a message through WhatsApp and also updating the database from leads. Finally, we tell the agent to close the conversation, such as the by node and the specifications and nodes that are mostly the same in all the nodes. In here, we just have two functions. First, the end call function, and then the sell message tool. In this tool, we have the next required dynamic variables, which are características propiedad, which means property features, and then nombre completo, complete name, and name. Of course, the complete name is the full name of the owner. Then the features of the property are the following. We are putting an example in here because in this format, the agent will pass the dynamic variable. So then in the automation in N8N, we can add this information at the Airtable base. And then we have the name variable, which will be useful to personalize the message that we will be sending through WhatsApp to the user. Now, before moving to the automations, first we are going to see the real estate table in the Airtable base. In here we got two sheets. The first one is the properties available, and then we have the sheets for the leads. In the available properties, we got these columns. First, we got the property ID, the location, price, type, rooms, bathrooms, square meters, amenities, and construction year. Then in the leads sheet, in first place, we have the leads ID, then the phone number, the type, if he is a buyer or an owner that wants to list a property, then the features of the property, just in case the type is owner. Then we have the name of the lead, the message that we sent through WhatsApp, the transcription of the call, and then the date and time in which the call was made. Now we can move to the automations, in which the first automation is the one that we call with the tool properties. In this automation, we will be looking for the properties available in the company. In first place, we have the webhook as a trigger, and then we have an if node. In this node, we will be watching if in the webhook we receive an ID of the property. This means that if the property ID is not empty, the user provided an ID during the call. So we go in this node of searching here, and we will filter depending on the property ID that the user provided during the call. If the variable property ID is empty, means the user didn't provide it during the call. So the user told to the agent the features that he wants in the property that is looking. So in this case, we cannot add all those features in the filter by formula of the search node. So in this case, we need to add a code node. So we can filter the search and find the property that matches the user requirements. I won't explain it deep in here because I'll leave it in the resources in the description, so you can just copy and paste it. Then after formatting the formula with the node code, we go to the search record node. In here, we just need to paste to move on the expression of the previous node and put it in here. Just with that, we will be able to gather all the properties available that match the requirements that the user told us. So then we just move on to a get record node in which we are getting those records. So then we can send them through the webhook response to the agent. In here, you just need to name the base, then names the table, and add the JSON ID, which will be able in the previous node. Then we just simply rename the variables so we have them in a more readable format, and then pass it to the webhook response. Here we have the variables, and then we send them in the webhook response to the agent. Here is the JSON. Don't worry about these things because I'll be leaving them down here in the description so you can just copy and paste it. The only difference between these two paths is that down here we are adding a code node to format in the correct format the variables that the user told us. Then moving on to the next automation, we have the automation that handles all the WhatsApp messages. So first we have a webhook trigger in which we will receive the information from the agent, and then we'll pass that information to the HTTP request. It's simply a web app that is very useful to send and receive messages through WhatsApp. So here as method, we choose post, and then as URL, which means the endpoint, we are sending this endpoint. Don't worry about anything of this because I'll be leaving this down here in the description. But of course, you need to replace this for your variables that I'll be leaving in the resources down here in the description. Then we turn on send headers and add two items. In the first item, in name, we put content type, in value, application JSON. And then in the second item, we put name client token, and in value, you must put your client token from Say API. I'll be leaving in the description again all the steps so you can gather your client token from Say API and send and receive messages from the Say API. And finally, we must send the body. This endpoint is very simple. We just need to send the phone number and then the message, of course. And if you remember, in here we put an expression because I told the AI voice agent to create the message that I will be sending to the user through WhatsApp. Just with that, we will be able to create a WhatsApp message and send it to the user. And in the following node, we have a set node in which we are formatting the date and time of the current time. So now I'm formatting the date in Buenos Aires and in UTC format because this is a format that we need to send to Airtable in order to add the date and time in which the code was made. So as you can see here, I just added a variable that I'll be leaving in the description. You just need to change this, which is my format, America Buenos Aires. And then in the create record node from Airtable, we just add the variables that we received from the webhook that we saw during the prompt explanation in the JSON, and we just add that to the base. After that, we format again the current date and time because in the last node, we will be sending an internal buy message to the company. So then when we send the internal buy message through Gmail, the format of the date will be way more readable than this format that we are passing to Airtable. If you see here, this is not readable at all. So we are formatting again the date and time, and then we are sending it in this HTML code that we got in here. I'll be leaving it in the description next to the resources so you can just copy and paste it. And finally, we have the last automation, which is the automation that sends the sell message. As you can see, it's just the same as the automation we've seen before, but the only difference is the next one. In the HTTP request, we have the following. We have this difference. Of course, the format is the same, the endpoint is the same, method the same, headers the same, but in the body, we are personalizing the message here in the automation. We are not receiving an expression or a variable from Retail AI with the message ready. So in here, we are receiving just the first name of the user, and then we are creating the message. We say, hi, name. We have already registered your property, and an agent will contact you shortly to discuss your needs in detail. Thank you for trusting PrimeNest Realty. Then the automation is exactly the same. The only change is the HTML, which in here the content information will be different from the automation of by message. Don't worry, because I will be also dropping it in the resources so you can just copy and paste it. If you're a business owner looking to implement a system like this into your business, down here in the description I will be leaving you my link of call.com so you can schedule a call with me and we can go deeper into your needs. On the other hand, if you are a developer and enjoy the video, please drop me a like and a comment. See you on the next one.